All right, so we're diving into this leadership book you've been checking out. Sounds like you're ready to really unlock that inner leader, maybe shake things up a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical business book, that's for sure.
Right.
Yeah, it's a story, and it kind of grabs you right from the start.
Okay.
You got Peter. He's this successful tech executive. Seems like he's on top of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But behind the scenes, he's struggling.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and his company, Global View Software, they're facing their own challenges too, you know?
Like what?
They're losing their edge, not as competitive as they used to be. Yeah, both he and the company are kind of at a crossroads.
It's interesting how the book sets that up, though. It's almost like it's this mirror reflecting these struggles that I think a lot of leaders probably face, Whether you're running a big company or not, that feeling of burnout or pressure to innovate.
Absolutely.
The fear of just losing momentum.
Yeah, and, just when Peter needs it most, this almost mythical figure from his past reappears, Julian Mantle.
Okay, and who is this Julian Mantle?
So Julian, he was once this high-powered lawyer, like top of his game, but then after this like life-altering experience, he disappears.
Oh, wow.
Goes to the Himalayas.
The Himalayas.
Himalayas.
Okay, this isn't your average career change.
No, not at all.
So I'm picturing yoga retreats, meditation under waterfalls.
He actually, when he shows up in Peter's office,
Yeah.
he's wearing a robe.
He is.
He is. But it's this incredible story of finding yourself, seeking out mentors, even in the most unexpected places.
Right.
And he talks about learning from this wise sage, Yogi Raman.
Okay.
And Yogi Raman, he teaches him that true leadership, it starts from within.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, you can't lead others effectively until you've mastered yourself.
So it's not just climbing the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
It's this personal growth, self-discovery.
Yeah, it's a huge part of it, and it's something that we all need to be doing.
Finding a mentor like that, though,
Right.
someone who can guide you to a whole new level of thinking, is pretty inspiring.
It is. It's powerful. It reminds us we all have that potential, no matter our age, profession, to really transform and grow. And sometimes it takes, stepping outside of that comfort zone, seeking that guidance from those unexpected sources. That's how we unlock that potential.
And I think that's where Julian's journey it clicks, right? It does. He goes from this stressed out lawyer to someone who just seems like they found this sense of peace and purpose.
Absolutely. Right.
And he's not just there to help Peter turn around Global View, right?
Right.
He's there to help him transform his entire approach to life and leadership.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about this deep dive for, anyone listening. It's not just about business strategies. It's about these deeper principles of leadership that can apply to anything in your life.
So Julian comes back from this incredible journey, robe and all, ready to kind of share his wisdom with the world, starting with Peter and Global View. And this is where we get into the heart of the book, the 7 rituals of visionary leadership. I'm ready to take some notes here.
Yeah, these rituals, they're not just abstract concepts, you know.
Yeah.
They're practical tools for anyone, whether you're, leading a team, leading a family, or just leading yourself. It's about becoming a more effective leader overall.
Okay, so let's dive in. What's the first ritual?
So the first one, the 20-80 rule, this one's huge for productivity and focus.
Okay. Yeah, it seems simple enough when you say it like that.
Right.
But I can see how it could be a game changer if you actually put it into practice.
It's about identifying, okay, what's that 20% of your efforts that are actually producing 80% of the results?
Oh, interesting.
Think about your own work right now even. What are those tasks that really move the needle? And then focus your energy there. Delegate or eliminate the rest.
That really resonates with me because I know I get bogged down in the minutia of my to-do list sometimes.
Sure,
and
yeah.
I lose sight of the bigger picture.
It's so easy to do.
It is.
Yeah. And Julian would say, focus on the worthy.
I like that.
And that's great advice
Yeah.
for all of us, whatever it is that we're doing.
Focus on the worthy. All right, what's next?
Okay, so ritual number 2, this is see your impact.
Okay.
And it's all about connecting your work to a larger purpose.
Okay, so finding that deeper meaning in what you do.
Exactly.
I like that.
The book talks about how Julian, he helped Peter to actually rewrite Global View's mission statement. Yeah, to emphasize their impact on people's lives.
Wow.
So it wasn't just about selling software anymore.
Right.
It was about saving lives.
That's a big shift.
It is, but it's
Yeah.
about tapping into that, that human desire to contribute to something bigger than ourselves.
Totally.
Think about, leaders like Gandhi, like Mandela. They inspired millions by connecting their actions to a powerful unifying cause.
And that's really what leadership is all about, right? It's not just about like authority. It's about inspiring other people.
Inspiring them to work towards a common goal.
Exactly.
And that's how you create real change.
All right. Ritual number 3, hit me.
Okay, number 3, reward routinely.
Okay, that one seems pretty straightforward.
It does, but you'd be surprised how many leaders overlook it.
Really? I mean, who doesn't like a good reward, right?
True, but it's not just about like handing out bonuses or raises.
Okay, there's more to it.
It's about recognizing and appreciating your team's efforts consistently, both the big wins and the small wins.
Okay.
And Julian, he reminds us that praise is free.
That's true.
And incredibly motivating, so find creative ways to reward your team and tailor those rewards to what really matters to them.
So it's about understanding like what motivates people, what actually makes them feel valued?
Exactly, and that's going to look different for everyone.
Okay, what's next?
Ritual number 4 is a big one. Embrace change.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
It is, especially in today's world.
Yeah, things are moving so fast.
Constantly, and I think a lot of us, we can be resistant to change, even when it's good for us.
It can be scary.
It can be, absolutely.
So how do we approach change in a more positive way? What does Julian suggest?
Well, he uses this great metaphor. He compares change to a forest.
A forest?
Yeah, think about it. Constantly growing, adapting, renewing itself. And change, it's like that.
Okay.
It's natural. It's essential for growth in nature and in leadership.
So it's not about resisting change. It's about like leaning into it, seeing it as an opportunity.
It's growth for innovation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like that. It's a shift in perspective.
Exactly.
All right. What's the next ritual?
Okay. So ritual number 5. This one is don't just manage time. Master it.
Time management. Oh boy, that is an ongoing struggle for me.
I hear you. It's a common one.
What's the secret? How do we master our time?
Well, Julian talks about the importance of planning and prioritization. He recommends using a weekly planner and actually scheduling in your most important activities, those worthy tasks that align with your goals and your values.
So it's about being intentional with your time.
Exactly.
Making sure that you're the one in control, not your schedule.
Yes, and not letting yourself get pulled in a million different directions.
Because it's so easy to do, right?
It is.
Okay, what's next?
Ritual number 6, lead from within.
Ooh, that's a good one. And I think that's so relevant today, especially when you think about all the distractions, the information overload.
It's easy to lose sight of ourselves in the midst of all of that.
Totally.
But Julian, he really believed that before you can effectively lead others, you need to master yourself.
Okay.
And he outlines 5 disciplines for self-leadership.
Okay, what are they?
Personal renewal, abundant knowledge, physicality, early awakening, and the deathbed mentality.
Okay, those are some powerful disciplines. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little intimidated.
They're definitely a roadmap for personal growth, but let's break them down a little bit.
Okay.
So personal renewal, this is about taking care of yourself holistically.
What do you mean by holistically?
Physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually.
Okay.
Things like sleep, nutrition, exercise, spending time in nature, connecting with yourself. Those are all important.
So it's about creating that sense of balance, right?
Yes, and well-being. Because if you're feeling depleted, how can you possibly show up as your best self for others?
That's a good point. You can't pour from an empty cup, right?
Exactly.
Okay, what about abundant knowledge?
So this one's all about being a lifelong learner. Julian was an avid reader.
As am I.
There you go.
I'm a big fan of reading.
He believed that leaders should constantly be expanding their knowledge, their perspectives, staying curious.
Absolutely. You never know where that next spark of inspiration is going to come from, right?
You don't.
So always be learning, okay, that one I can get behind. What about physicality?
So this one, it's not just about, hitting the gym.
Okay, good, because that's not really my thing.
But it is about understanding that mind-body connection.
Right.
And how taking care of your physical health can improve your mental clarity, your focus, your energy levels.
And it's all connected.
It really is.
Okay, what about early awakening? I will admit, that one's a little tough for me. I'm not a morning person at all.
And that's okay.
Okay, good.
Julian understood that not everyone's wired to wake up at the crack of dawn. It's really about finding a rhythm that works for you, maximizing your most productive hours.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
So if you're more of a night owl,
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. Just own it. Structure your day accordingly.
All right, so we've got personal renewal, abundant knowledge, physicality, early awakening. What was the last one?
the deathbed mentality.
Okay, that one's a little ominous, not gonna lie. Kind of makes me a little nervous.
It's not about being morbid, I promise.
Okay.
It's about living each day with intention and purpose, like it's your last.
Oh, okay.
He tells the story of a Maharaja who would symbolically celebrate his own funeral every morning.
Wow, that's intense.
Right.
Every morning.
As a way of reminding himself to live each day to the fullest.
It makes you think, you know?
It does.
Like, are we really making the most of our time?
It's a powerful reminder that our time is precious. We shouldn't waste it.
Okay, that one's definitely going to stick with me. What's the last ritual?
All right, so ritual number 7, unlock your inner child's creativity.
Ooh, I like that one.
This one's about tapping into that playful, curious side of ourselves.
Yes, I think we lose a little bit of that as we get older.
We do. We get so serious.
I do.
But that sense of play, that wonder, that's where creativity comes from.
So how do we, reconnect with our inner child?
Well, Julian talks about fostering a more playful, creative environment, both in your personal life and at work.
Okay.
He suggests, for example, setting up a contest committee at work, coming up with fun activities for employees.
I love that idea.
Right, it doesn't have to be so serious all the time.
No, it doesn't. And I think, when people feel like they can have a little bit of fun, they're more creative, they're more engaged.
Absolutely, and he even tells this amazing story about Jean-Dominique Balbi.
Who's that?
He was a man who had a massive stroke,
Oh, no.
and he was left almost completely paralyzed.
Oh, wow.
But he was determined to write a book.
How is that even possible?
He developed this system where he would blink his left eyelid to communicate.
Wow.
And with the help of a transcriber, he wrote his memoir. It's called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
That's incredible.
It's an amazing story of resilience
It is.
and this determination to create something meaningful, even in the face of these overwhelming obstacles.
Wow. So how does Julian tie that back to, leadership?
He saw Bobby's story as this powerful example of, not letting anything hold you back from achieving your goals
Right.
and inspiring your team to do the same.
Yeah, to push past those limitations.
To think differently, to challenge assumptions, to embrace new possibilities.
So it's about creating a culture where it's safe to take risks, to experiment.
Exactly. He called it creating a playground of ideas.
I love that. A playground of ideas. That's where the magic happens, right?
And that's where the magic happens.
These 7 rituals, they're really, I don't know, they're sticking with me.
Yeah.
Especially that emphasis on leading from within, right?
Mhm.
And embracing change. It's about you becoming a better version of yourself so you can be a better leader for other people.
It all starts with you.
It does, but there's one more piece to this whole puzzle, right? The final lesson that Julian kind of leaves with Peter.
Yeah, it's not just about, the techniques or strategies. He leaves him with this really powerful story from Tolstoy.
Okay.
The Death of Ivan Ilyich. Have you read that one?
I haven't, no.
So Ivan Ilyich, he's this successful lawyer, kind of like Julian was.
Okay.
But he spent his whole life chasing status and wealth, right?
Yeah.
He's so caught up in appearances that he's totally neglected his relationships, his own well-being.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's not until he's faced with his own mortality that he realizes he's wasted his life on things that don't really matter.
It's kind of like a wake-up call, right?
It is a big one.
And I think a lot of us, we get so caught up in that, the rat race, striving for success, but we lose sight of what's actually important.
Absolutely. And that's what Julian wants Peter and, anyone listening to understand. It's never too late to change course.
Right.
To start living a life of meaning and purpose.
Yeah, it's about figuring out what your legacy is going to be, right? What do you want to be remembered for?
Exactly. He challenges Peter to think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about, building a successful company. It's about making a positive impact, inspiring others.
And I think that's something we all want, right? To know that our lives mattered,
Of course.
that we made a difference.
The book actually ends with this quote from the sages. They say, "When you were born, the world rejoiced while you cried.
Okay.
Your mission must be to live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice."
Wow, that's powerful.
Right.
It's a lot to think about.
It's a call to action for all of us to really, live with intention, lead with purpose, and make our lives matter.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect place to kind of wrap up this deep dive.
I agree.
It's been incredible, exploring these ideas with you.
Me too.
And I think the big takeaway for me, and hopefully for everyone listening, is that leadership, it's not just a title,
Right.
it's a way of being.
It's a responsibility.
It is, and it starts from within.
It does.
So as you go out into the world, leading your teams, your families, your own lives,
Yeah.
Remember these lessons, focus on what's worthy, connect to a bigger purpose, and never underestimate the power of leading from within.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And don't wait for that wake-up call like Ivan Illich, right?
No, start living your life on purpose today.
This has been an amazing deep dive. Really appreciate your insights.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
And for everyone listening, until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep leading with purpose.